Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. This is Leah, Ryan, and Loft Manager Richard from the Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club of Ontario here with your Monday night family show. What do we do on Monday nights? We talk anything and everything to do with pigeon racing, one loft racing, pigeon health, pigeon breeding, you name it. We talk about it. I'm going to check to make sure we are live on Facebook and YouTube. I'll send it over to Ryan. First, I want to say welcome home to Ryan. He is now back at the village. Welcome home, Ryan. Send it over to you. Make sure we are live on Facebook and YouTube. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, welcome back. Nice to be back. That was one hell of a 73-day adventure, that's for sure. But good to come home. Loft Manager Richard, boy, he's got his cocks looking fantastic, boy. They are looking tremendous. Remember, guys, before we start talking about pigeons, one thing we need you to do, if you like what we do, please like, share, and subscribe. The key word there is subscribe, and then I want you to like it. Then I want you to share it. If you don't like it, I still want you to subscribe. Give it a thumbs down. Give it an angry face, but just subscribe. That's all we really want you to do is subscribe to our channel, promote pigeon flying, pigeon racing, pigeon keeping. And if you subscribe, we keep bringing you the best content. Hey, this is what we do. We produce the best pigeon content in the world, I would have to say. This is what I have been told, and that's thanks to you guys. Leah, are we on the YouTube and the Facebook?
We certainly are. I want to say good evening to everybody. I'm not going to go through it individually, but as you can see, I am posting your hellos up on the screen, so keep them coming, guys. This show works best when we are all interactive and work together. So comments, questions, don't be shy. Nobody's going to rip your head off. At least we will try not to. This is a family-friendly show where we try and help each other out in the wonderful world of pigeon racing. So I want to say good evening to everybody. What shall we start off with this evening, Ryan? I see you were doing a little bit of loft building with Loft Manager Richard.
Yeah, we got the second loft for the Pioneer Loft Manager Richard's loft. We got in the darkening for the ceiling windows or the skylights. We got those all darkened up today. Richard when I was gone, he was good. He cleaned out all the Pioneer and the original Pioneer loft. He whitewashed that down with lime, so that's super clean, ready to go. He worked on his loft, got the plywood on the insides. We worked today on the darkening of the ceiling there. The skylights, got those darkened in, and tomorrow we're going to start with the windows, darken those in, make the sliders or the shutters for them, and get that done. So, simple.
I'm just going through the hellos here. We got people watching from Jamaica. We got people watching from Hawaii. Of course, good old Canada, United States. Love to see it, guys. Love to see the support. Brian Mansker says, looking good. Sure is. What are you thinking? It should be done we should be ready to put some paint on her by the weekend, would you think?
Yeah, I would think so, eh? I mean, we really got to do the four windows in the front, the one dividing wall for where the feed room goes, and then just basically put the landing board on with the Avery, and that's not hard because Richard's landing board is going to be a little different than mine's going to come out. Mine goes along the loft. His is going to come out, and he's going to have a pretty high-end kind of landing board. It's going to be a lot different than mine. No wire for his landing board. That's all I can say about that. Me and Ricky have broken the bank, eh? We broke our piggy bank, so we cashed in for some of the good stuff for the landing board.
So guys, make sure you follow along to our page all week long, and actually now from this point forward, all season long, where we will be giving you hopefully daily live updates from the Pioneer Village, whether it's in Loft Manager Ryan's loft or Loft Manager Richard's loft. This is the beginning of it, folks. So if you are, the best thing to do is follow along, and that way you know exactly what's going on. And we will be broadcasting live from here on in daily from the Pioneer Village on our Pioneer page, as well as on our YouTube channel. We're going to get Ryan to figure out how to do some lives over on YouTube. Lots of fun.
Oh yeah,
we got to
start. We got to start that. That's for sure. So the YouTubers don't miss out.
Yeah, 100%. So we will be going live on YouTube as well once I get Ryan hooked up and ready to go on that Premier League. Do you guys send on to any one loft races? The one loft races in Thailand are becoming very popular. Ryan, what do you want to say about Thailand?
We're going to be partnering up with Emil Denny's. He's going to be putting two teams in on behalf of Feathers Elite, Emil Denny's and Feathers Elite, and Emil Denny's and Zonigan in one. I believe it's one race in Thailand. I don't know the exact name. I had it. I can't remember it because there's quite a few. I will let you know. Also on our Feathers Elite channel, we're going to start here once a week. We're going to have a breeder on from somewhere around the world. We're going to pick a day and or an evening or an afternoon, and we're going to host a breeder from somewhere. Have it be Emil Denny's or Anna Gochan or Jan Hoymans. We're going to bring people on once a week on our Feathers Elite Pigeon auction channel, so you guys can follow along. Correct, Leah?
Absolutely. So that will be starting in the next couple of weeks, as Ryan said, over at Feathers League Pigeon Auctions Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, we'll have more information as we figure out our first guest and what day we're going to do that. But stay tuned for that. That's going to be exciting. Henry wants to know, did Ricky lose his cell phone? Henry, you trying to get in touch with Ricky? Did you lose your cell phone, Loft Manager Richard?
No.
No, he's got it. We've got enough cell phones here. Maybe he didn't hear it because we were outside working. And
when did Henry call today?
Henry, what time did you ringle dingle?
Don't worry about it, Henry. Give him a call tomorrow. He does have his phone. If he doesn't answer, Ryan's got his phone, 416-990-0187, or Loft Manager Richard, 416-891-2518. Phil Hubis, nice to see you on. Love the netting outside when you're settling. You don't do that. What's Phil talking about?
No. Okay, so we found when we originally ran the Toronto Trifecta, before the netting, we had probably the largest aviaries out of all the one loft races. We had them, remember, at the Trifecta, they would go out about 20, they were 20 feet by 8. They'd go right out onto the grass. And the young birds could go out and pick and go back and forth, go back and forth. And the only thing I didn't like about that, and I'm not saying the netting isn't good, but netting at the Hoosier or whatever, and I'm going to use that one because that's like a super dome of a netting. That's different, but and that's on all gravel. When you put netting on over your lawn, I find the pigeons like to go and they like to dig in the grass. And if you have enough birds out in an area, and you have them out there for a week or 10 days, by the time the birds have been outside all day for about 4 or 5 days, they're picking the grass up through the droppings. And then you get what we call sour crop. They get sour inside because that's what pigeons like to do. Correct, Richard? Mm-hmm. And I don't like it. I love the netting. If I had gravel down, then I would put the netting up. But it's good, but not for grass. And we have grass here, so we're not going to go with the netting. And I don't want to put a net up that's, the whole backyard to fit the pigeons, per se. We're only settling them.
We'd have to get a really big net.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how that would, I can't even imagine that in my mind. Anyway, moving on. Guys, questions, put them in the comments. What do you want to talk about next, Ryan? I think your camera has frozen for a moment. We're having some technical difficulties here, guys. So bear with us, as Ryan, I'm sure, is going to reconnect. There he is.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Sorry about that.
No worries. I think we wanted to talk a little bit about how we have extended or pushed ahead, pushed back, however you want to say it. Our intake date, we're now receiving pigeons May the 9th to the 23rd. And I think we were talking about it the other day, the three of us, how this is a great opportunity, since everybody is now given an additional 2 weeks, to use that time wisely and to prepare your pigeons for arrival to the one loft race. And I'd like to just talk about a few key things that we can do all of us can do, how we can utilize these 2 weeks of time that we've all been given, this little extension, to use it wisely and to prepare our youngsters for May the 9th. What are some tips that you guys can think of?
Well, just by now, if your youngsters are weaned off, make sure they're eating, they're drinking, get them used to a basket. There's nothing wrong with putting them in the basket and driving them to work with you and teaching them to drink in a basket. Let them spend the night in the basket, see how they handle the stress, switch sections, see how the pigeons react, right? Because when you come to a one loft race, it's a change. Everything is a change. So if you slowly educate them on change, when you give them the real change, they handle it much better. If you see kids that go to daycare, when they go to kindergarten, they handle it better. A kid that stayed home with the mother, it's the first day of kindergarten, he's having a hairy conniption, but the kids that all went to daycare, they're like, hey, this is just another day, right? You think? Maybe? Ricky, what are you thinking?
Oh, yeah. Take a basket. First of all, put it in your section where your young birds are. Open up the release part of it. Open the top of it up. Let them crawl all over it. Let them poop all over it. Let them go in and out, right? Maybe put a drinker inside of it. So they see that, first of all. Once they see that, they get accustomed to that new item.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can take them and put them in the basket and close it up. Like, they can't get out.
You do things in small steps.
Walk them around your yard with the basket in your hand. Take them and put them out in your garage for the night. Then take them back out to the loft. Let them back out of the basket. Just like they should become familiar with the little changes in life. It's like your clothing. Try and always wear the same clothing. When you come to your loft, tell the birds you're there. Hello, I'm here, right? You don't wear a different outfit every day of the week because your pigeons get freaked out.
Yeah.
I know if I bring a stranger to my loft, my birds don't act the same, right? So, you got to
keep it consistent.
Get them adjusted, yeah.
Mike Sheridan, great question. Do you think the birds being a couple of weeks older will affect them coming to a new loft? Start with Ryan first and then loft manager Richard. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I think good pigeons are good pigeons. Good pigeons should break fairly easy. The one nice thing with having birds a little older is you can play with the feet a little bit easier because they're already in the game. They understand, they get a little bigger, although they are a little stronger on the wing. But hey, you know what? Everybody is in the same boat. So I don't think there's going to be a problem. And again, when we let them out, we just take our time, go slow, and you have to have a bit of luck on the break. That's part of the race right off the start. First part of the race. Go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, we get them in and we just don't open the door up and say go. Even a guy with netting, right? You just don't open the door up and say, you know what? I got a 50-foot net here. I'm just going to open them up and let them go. It doesn't work that way. In my books, pigeons got to come. He's going to be in shock for a few days, number one. And then he's going to learn to adjust to my feeding and adjust to me 100%. He's got to feel comfortable, right? Real comfortable. He's going to get fed properly, feel comfortable. And then once he's comfortable, he's going to go out in a small settling aviary. And when I call him in, if he comes in nice, I know he's starting to get comfortable. And then what I might do is cut him back on feed without letting him out, right? So he's looking for me,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
make him feel like I saved his day.
That's right.
And then he respects me, right? And that's it. And
a little bit of luck. A little bit of luck.
And the other thing that we have, which is nice, is we have birds coming out of the Twisted Sister, right? I've got the widowhood cocks coming out. I've got upstairs my young birds at a different time coming out. when these new birds come in and they go into that little settling aviary, they go out, they watch the birds coming and going. I got birds up in the barn, they're coming out. Those birds in the settling aviary, they watch what's going on. They start to feel comfortable.
And they get it. That's right.
That's right. They got to feel comfortable.
I'm just going to get to the comments here in a second, but guys, Pioneer Village, Pioneer family, we want to send some good wishes and healing vibes to Mr. Van Zorn, Alfred's dad. He is not feeling the best, and please, guys, in the comments, let's send some healing vibes to Alfred's father. I'm sorry to hear that, Alfred. I hope he gets better quickly. All right, let me get to the comments here. Antonio Rodriguez from YouTube says, move the food and feeders around the loft. That's a good idea.
Yeah. You move it and change your drinker. You use a torpedo drinker, then you can use. There are different types of drinkers out there. You can change it. Change where you put it. Educate them to succeed. Educate them to start thinking, and they start to think. And you'll see pigeons, even just by moving a drinker. You'll see pigeons that figure that out quicker than the other ones. And sometimes when you're saying, I'm going to send that beautiful pied over there, but boy, I moved the drinker and you know what? He couldn't figure it out. And then the next day I moved the drinker again. He still couldn't figure it out, but everyone else did. He's telling you something right there. He's telling you, I look good. I feel good, but I got maybe no shit between my ears. So, the little things.
Premier League says, Mike Sheridan, the big one loft players send youngsters between 45 to 60 days old. Troy says, only issues with older pigeons is it a bit of luck by not having any unwanted visitors flying over. Only issues with older pigeons is a bit of luck by not having any unwanted visitors flying over. Antonio also suggests to move the water around the loft. Abdil Pino from YouTube, nice to see you on, friend. What is the oldest age I should send youngsters to one loft race? Oh, that's a good question. What's the oldest? Is there a rule? Because I know we've got stories. I know Gallo's got stories. There's stories all over the place about the age, the best age to send them. What are you thinking? Or what is too old?
I don't know. I'd say between 40 and 50 days. I think 40 to 50 days, you're getting into the safe zone. I think if you send them any younger, 30 days, you need to have a real strong, smart pigeon because 99% of the one lofts won't take the time to drink them or look how they're doing. I know we will because, it's what we do. But I think, 50, 60 days, 40 to 60 days, in that time frame, you're good. I don't know. What do you think?
I think an older bird's not bad. You take a look at some of the Europeans, like the German flyers and some of the other ones I can't remember now, but I know some of those German flyers, they'll have them already trained out to 50 kilometers, and then they'll take them and send them to one loft race, okay? So, you know what I'm saying? Now, if the loft manager doesn't know what he's doing, okay, now you could be in a problem. A bird that's 60 days old is how old? 7 weeks?
Yeah, but when you're training, if you send a group of pigeons that you've trained out to 50 to 100 miles, you right off the hop have to say to yourself, I'm not looking for them all to make it, to break, but I'm looking for the smartest ones.
Yeah.
That's what you're gambling on. I know Gallo did it. He flew the young bird right out to 300 miles in Chicago, shipped it to Victoria Falls, and he had an ace pigeon in Victoria Falls. Now, he was gambling. I don't know on every bird if you do it.
Wayne Bodwine did it with a bird.
Or we did it with Wayne. Yeah, we sent a bird that we flew out to 300 miles here.
That's right.
Wayne took it back the next year at his own place, and he won a 400-mile open with it. But again, those are exceptions to the rules. So you have to sort of feel it out. If you send old, I always say, hey, send a few older ones, send a few younger ones, and see where it goes. Get your feel. It's the same thing. Me personally, I like sending hens. Hens is what I would send. I'm not interested really in sending cockbirds. That's my feeling.
Let me get back to the, sorry, I'm just going to get back to the comments here. We have a great little tip. We got a little squeaker there that we're going to show everybody here shortly. It's the newest addition to the village. A little squeaky there. David Tracy, I've been taking mine with me when old bird training and teaching them to eat all different kinds of feed and teaching them to trap changing waters. David, you're on fire. Good job. Would love to see. You guys should do a little video. You and Sherry should do a little video of how you're prepping to send your one lofters to our race. We would love to see that. Alfred, just curious, is the child from Olympic Henny the most expensive of the season? Bit of for my honor, I asked that. I think you're close. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, he is.
Is
He got the highest one. Congratulations, Alfred. Yeah.
Everybody give a big round of applause to Alfred Combe Van Zoren, who we had the absolute honor of auctioning off a direct child of Olympic Henny from him. Amazing that he gave us that opportunity, and Ryan knows better than me. It was the most expensive pigeon sold in our European tour, so round of applause.
Good job.
Well done. Antonio Rodriguez, will you accept birds if the flights are pulled? So before we answer that, let's explain to those of us who don't know, because I'm not even 100% sure, why would you pull flights on youngsters before sending them to a one loft race? Why would somebody do that?
On the light.
Yeah, he's pulling the
He's not darkening them. He has them on the light.
Right, and he's feeling at a certain time of the year when our race is going to be at the end of September, the flights that he's pulled, that's where the holes are going to be in the wing. So by pulling them before he sends them, it brings the flights in, and the bird doesn't want to kick those flights because he's already gone through them. So in some races, you know, they'll pull the 9th or the 10th, the 9th and the 8th. They pull those three. Or, you know, I've seen some guys pull the 7th and the 8th. It all depends on where you're thinking it's going to be. But
so if you want to pull the flights, no problem.
Yeah, you want to pull the flights, no problem. If you pull the tail, no problem. We don't pull flights. I mean, if a flight is broken, we'll make the correct adjustment for the bird. But you know, we're not going in pulling.
I think
Alfred says,
locally here.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Should be darkened.
Yeah, we're going to darken.
We are going to darken, but I mean, if you haven't, you're going to bring them by the 9th, you should have them already darkened now.
We'll start to.
Yeah.
Alfred says, I want to try it so I can also send pigeons for a one loft race. Alfred, not to worry. We're working on something behind the scenes to help our European breeders and friends out. So stay tuned for that. We will let you know once we've got everything in place, but that is coming for you, so not to worry. Mike Vanderyak has a great tip. Vaccinate for PMV at 21 days, and then 4 weeks later, and then send to the one loft race, 49 to 50 days old. We cannot stress this enough, how important it is for you guys to be vaccinating your youngsters at home before they come to us. Will we be vaccinating them? Yes, we will. Will you get to see that on camera? Absolutely. Each and every bird. However, Ryan, how important is it that everybody's doing their vaccinations at home?
Guys, when you ban your youngsters, you can vaccinate them. You can vaccinate them when you ban them, not early, and then you can vaccinate them when you wean them. We're going to vaccinate them for PNV and the rotavirus, and yes, I brought the vaccine in from Europe for our one loft birds, so they'll be getting the good modern day stuff.
Yeah, direct from Europe. Go ahead, Richard.
Some people may not know what the rotavirus vaccine is.
You'll have to. Well, it's for your young bird sickness. It really, everyone I've talked to over there, it's the one thing they will not miss is rota. So PNV and rota, that's what we're going to vaccinate with. They're going to get one of each. And yes, when we do the vaccines, you will see your birds getting vaccinated. So tune in for that.
Phil says, so why are my first and second average speed birds cocks? It's the great cock or hen debate.
I'm not knocking cocks here. I'm just not going to send cocks. I've flown one loft races long enough, and I've seen with young cocks they get crazy. Maybe your cock wasn't. He was in that perfect age where he was just coming to maturity, and the races were on. Or maybe he had a hen, and he was a cock that calmed himself down. Great. I personally think hens, but you do need those cocks that do well. So, I mean, I would still send the odd cock if it's a beauty, but normally it's hens. Look at last year in Pioneer, it was all hens. And the year before, I think it was all hens.
I think we got one good cock out of, who had it? There's one checker cock.
Was
that did
Jump?
very well.
Was Frank
No,
Eichhorn's Jump a cock or a hen?
The checker
Can't
cock. Rozier had a good. There you go.
That's right.
I'm not sure. Your camera's cutting in and out. Oh no, you're good now. You're good now. You're good now.
Sorry about that.
The great cock and hen debate. I think it'll go on forever, just like eye signs and everything else. But hey, if the cocks are working for you, Phil, keep working those cocks. Abdil Pino, very grateful to the Feathers Elite team for all you do for us. Wow, that's super nice. Thank you very much, Abdil. We really love to hear that. Any auctions coming up soon? What will we be having coming up? We will have the Pioneer auction, where we will have youngsters available to purchase that you can activate in the Pioneer One Loft race. So maybe you're watching from somewhere where you can't get birds to us and you still want to participate. No problem. We will have probably 15 or 20 youngsters available, all from top breeders who have won the past couple of years in the Pioneer One Loft race. Available for auction probably within the next, what would you say, Ryan? A month? Middle of May ish. They will be up. Also, loft tours, extra loft tours that Ryan did while he was in Europe. I'm editing those and getting those ready to put up. I'll probably post those once per week so we don't get inundated with loft tours, and that way I'm able to spread them out throughout the summer. So look forward to that, guys, because we have some great loft tours coming up that Ryan did while he was there, of breeders that we will be auctioning off in season 5. So some new faces to introduce you to. Very exciting. Okay, let's see. We got more questions. Love the questions, guys. Keep it up. A comment from Phil. Pulling the flights or cutting for shipping is to help settle older babies. They can't fly away as easily.
Yeah. Yeah, or you can, some people soap them as well. I don't know. But go ahead, Richard.
I think the fellow pulling the flights has a reason. I think he had them on the lights. That's why he's pulling the flights. Sending a bird to a one loft race and trimming the flights, which we would say, let's say on the one wing from the 5th flight up to the 10th. So he can't fly. He's off balance. Well, we're going to have to pull those flights out, because if we don't, he ain't gonna. He's by the time he gets those flights back in, it's going to be December. You know, they're still going to kick one at a time, and he's not going to be able to fly around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's going to be useless. So that's kind of that's not good. Don't do that, because when we get him, we're going to have to pull those flights out. So he's going to get his new flights.
And the other thing I will say, if you want to play the game of you want to cut the 10th, the 9th, and the 8th, you want to cut them and pull them, and you're thinking about doing that, we're taking birds on the 9th. You better be cutting the flights today, and then cutting them in about another 5 days, and then pull them just before you send them. Because if you just pull, you're pulling on, you're hurting on the bird. Because it's fresh meat. You want to dry the flight out. So think about what you're doing. Remember, if you want to pull a flight on a pigeon, I recommend cutting it once, a little bit, cutting it again, and then pulling it. So give it about 5-6 days before you pull it, I think. What do you think?
I think if you're going to cut flights like that, what you're doing is you're mating the bird, in a sense. It's like taking a person's leg and pulling him back at the knee and tying his ankle to his hip. So he's got one leg to walk on. That's almost like, it's not.
Wouldn't that even
it's
be
not
like
good.
mentally not great? I mean,
I think it can't be mentally good because a bird's going to try and fly off the floor and he's going to,
Yeah. I'm not going to mention that. That was a long time ago. But anyways, go ahead, Leah.
moving on. Brian Mansker, if you vaccinate them twice, would it be helpful to give you the date of vaccination at home?
No. When we get them in, we're going to when we get each of the birds in, each of the teams that come in, we're going to vaccinate them. We're going to try and do a Facebook show on each group that come in, even if it's just quick 5-minuters, where you'll see me or Richard vaccinate. We'll do the photos of the birds, give them their yellow drop, and then into the section. But we're going to have a pretty busy week, so. I think, Leah, for the first vaccine, we're just going to do it on the fly, like I did today. Here's Ian Sybil's 5 birds, or Mike Vandriak's, or Mike Sheridan. Here we are. Boom, 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 done.
That way we know they're done.
Yeah, and that way, and again, ladies and gentlemen, we don't tell you we do something. We do it with you. You're with us. Okay? And again, like last year, you seen the sick bay. You're going to see it again this year. And we hope we don't have it. We hope there's very little, but you never know. But you're going to follow us along for the whole trip, from the vaccinating, from the P&V to the rota, to, hey, today we're going to go and give them all yellow drops. We're going to look at them sleeping. We're going to see how they're, who's who and what's what. We bring you along for the entire show because these are your pigeons. And we want you guys to be connected and with them.
Premier League, how many kilometers is your final race? And I think also he was asking earlier what our dates are of our races. So I've got the schedules here. So let's put them up. Let's start with boot camp, shall we? And I'm just going to put it up, and maybe Ryan, you can explain what is boot camp, when's it going to begin, how's it going to work? I'm going to put it up here.
Jeez.
What is boot camp?
Okay, so once we get the birds loft flying, they're rambling good, Richards and myself. We're going to start the training, and we have 5 hotspot trainers. And those 5 hotspots, we pay out on each of the hotspots. We call that the graduations. So we've got, and the screen's a bit small for me here, Leah, to see.
Yeah, I can read it.
So just give them the hotspot.
I can read it.
Give it
okay,
to us.
So we have 5 training hotspots with 105 cash prizes based on 450 paid entries. The first hotspot is 2 miles, also known as the Duck Farm. First place, $250. Second to 21st, $100 each. The second trainer is the racetrack, 10 miles. Again, first $250, second to 21st, $100 each. Third hotspot for the trainer, the Rock, 21 miles. Again, same prize structure. Fourth hotspot, the Watercrosser, 50 miles, same prize structure. And the fifth hotspot, just for training, guys, is called the Last Stop, which is 80 miles. Again, first place, $250. Second to 21st place is going to get $100 each. That is just our training, okay? And then we're going to get into the actual races. So let me pull this up here.
You're doing good, Leah. Keep her going. Keep her going.
Put that one. Hold on. Let me switch. Let me get you in the corner here. That's better. There we go. So these are our race schedule. The first race of the season starts July 23rd and will follow every Saturday for 8 weeks straight. We fly along with the Pioneer Combine, which means we can't change the dates based on weather or tailwinds or whatever to suit our purpose. We have to release along with the Pioneer Combine. So no excuses. No sunshine flying, basically. So the races, again, starting July 23rd, Huntsville, 94 miles, Berks Falls, 114, North Bay, 160, Latchford, 231, Englehart, 267, Berks Falls, 114, hopefully that's correct, Matheson, 302, and then North Bay, 160. That's going to bring us right in and around September 10th, I believe, and then we're going to have an encore, which is the R9, which we haven't talked about yet.
No,
hopefully I
and
said
that will
that
be
right.
That'll be the super big one. A little bit further, about 375 miles for that one.
So hopefully that breaks everything down for you. Mike Vandriak, Sheriff John Stone was a cock. Yes, and he did. He won. Can't remember what he won, but I know he won something. Bill says, I like hens too, but when the stuff hits the fan, just send them all. See what shakes out. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly. Oh, Mike Vandriak, he's put up a nice little article over on our Facebook page, a link. I believe it is the impact of gender in young bird pigeon racing. So after the show, if you guys want to check that out, click on the link that Mike Vandriak has posted. Go ahead, Richard.
We're talking about hens and cocks again. Will you take a look at Alfred's bird?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
A hen.
A hen.
Yeah, I think a lot of those.
Frank Eichhorn's bird had top winning points here with a hen.
Yeah, Rick Fife's was a hen. Ian Sybil's was a hen.
My hen upstairs that won all
those races. Points.
Hen.
I think even at the Olympiad, hen. I mean, I literally almost every single breeder I went to in Europe, they said, hell with the cocks, just play with the hens.
Well, I think if you get a good cock bird, he's good. You know?
Frank Eichhorn, if you pull those flights, getting back to pulling flights, what about the darkening? Will those flights grow in?
Oh, yeah, they'll grow in. Just like when you cut your fingernails, right? You cut your fingernails back too short, they grow. It doesn't matter if you're in the dark or in the light. Pigeons constantly growing. They develop. You pull a flight, it grows in. You know, it was kind of interesting at the Emile Denny's the sale that just finished, and what a great sale that was. Lot number 8 was a cock that Emile brought back from a one loft race, a super cock. I would have bought him. The tail was pulled on him when I got to do his photos and his grading. Right. Mm-hmm. 1 week later, the little stub tail. Mm-hmm. He was super healthy, eh? Yeah. Tail just grew in like a weed. 1 week, the whole tail was in.
I had a situation last fall with my birds were darkened, all my young birds.
Yeah.
And I had one cock. He had 4 flights left to go. I believe it was October or November.
Yeah.
And one day I went out. I thought, holy jump. He kicked on both wings. All 4 flights.
Super healthy.
Yeah, he's super, super healthy. The sign is super healthy.
I've never seen that.
That's the first time I ever seen that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Hey.
I just had something to say about our program with the training and the races. Some people may say, well, they're taking them 2 miles, then they're going to take them 10 miles, and then they're going to go 23 miles or whatever it is, 15 miles. But we're going to do that gradually. Yeah. So we see how they come from 2 miles.
It's a graduated program.
That's right.
And what we say is, when do we produce a hot spot? Is when we feel they've ready. Graduated from 2 miles. So you know what? Hell, we might leave them at 2 miles for 9 times.
That's right.
And then we may have them at 10 miles for 3 times. And then we might have them at 23 miles for 12 times. We just go at our pace, slow and steady, and how the birds are acting. And again, we don't tell you this. We show you this. You see all of our training. You see our basketing. You see the feeding. You see the loft flying. You see the drone footage. You see everything. And if anyone that's new to our channel and hasn't seen what we've done, people like Mike Vandriak, Frank Eichhorn, Ian Sybil, ask them how we do it and how much you see. And
or hey, sorry to interrupt, just go on to our Feathersleep Pigeon Auctions YouTube channel, and we have 2 entire Pioneer One Loft Racing seasons that you guys can all binge watch and catch. Oh boy, Loft Manager Richard needs a drink.
Grab me a Gatorade, Ricky.
We have 2 seasons that you guys can watch, so, but don't worry, you will see it all. Is he going to fall over there? Is he all right or what? Because it's very noisy.
He choked on some pepper.
Choked on pepper. Okay, moving on. Tony S., because if I try and say your last name, I will butcher it. If you're going to pull feathers, getting back to pulling flights, If you're going to pull, cut 1 inch to 2 inches off the tip. Wait at least 13 days for the blood quill to dry out, and then pull the flight with the one hand holding the forearm of the bird so you're not tugging the root. Great advice.
You know what you're doing. You know, we don't do a lot of pulling.
We don't do a lot of flight. We don't do any flight cutting.
Flight cutting, pulling. Normally, if a bird has a broken flight, we'll normally leave it. I'll leave it for about, like you said, about 2 weeks, and then you just feel it. And you feel too, when the flight's dried out, pulling it's very easy. Pulling a fresh flight, it's like pulling a root in the ground, right?
And like,
but you know what? What Tony said there, that's bang right on. That's a good tip.
hold the weight, hold the birds right this part. You know what I mean? And then away you go.
Yeah, give it secure everything. You know what we'll do? We'll do one on camera and show it next week. We're gonna do it. Tony,
next week we're going to do one on camera and show you guys. Okay, let's get back here. Michael Peebler, people who fly further north mostly use the dark. If you're in the mid-south or more, you're cutting flights 2 weeks later, you're pulling because you're racing later in the year.
Yeah, that's right. Makes sense.
Phil, I think it's about flying away when they get let out. Pretty sure that almost every one loft race in the U.S. has finally adopted putting up nets. Cutting flights has been going on for a few years, I think.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you know, letting birds out when it's time for them to go out. Flights pulled, flights not pulled. It keeps them. Yeah, it keeps them there. Sure, it does. But I think at the end of the day, pigeon that's going to win. He wins from the start right to the end. Those ace pigeons, they figure out the ways. They get lucky, or whatever you call it. They're good pigeons. They find a way. You know, if I send birds to a one loft race and they pull the flights, hey, they pull the flights. If they don't, they don't. I look at it as and say, I have to have the pigeon there to do it. If I don't have it, I don't have it. You know, nets or no nets, soap the wings, don't soap the wings. I don't know.
I've had pigeons in the showroom in a basket.
Yeah.
Right. I've had them birds in a basket for a couple of weeks. Okay. Feeding them, watering them.
Yeah, your own.
And they're from a different loft, right?
Mm.
And they get out. They walk out. They do a couple trips around. They land on the ground and walk right back in my garage. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think too, if you take pigeons in and you keep them in that section for a couple of weeks in that new loft, and then take them from the basket, put them in a basket, put them in another spot for a week or so, and then take them back into that loft where you wanted to break them. They think they're back in their
original loft.
Yeah, they think this is my place, you know. And I think if they're not following me around that section for feed, and I don't mean having them starved, then they're not. They got to respond. That's the big thing. Respond to me, right? Yeah. At first, when you bring them over, they don't respond to you. They go in there, you put them in on the floor, and next thing you know, they're up on the perch, they're down, they're all around. They're afraid of you. You can't walk through. They run over here because they're in a different place. They want to get out. But once they respond to me, if I sit on that chair, they come when I feed them. When they see me coming, they respond. Once you got them doing that, they're easy to break. Very easy to break. Very easy to break. Don't let them out. I don't let them out when it's a 80-mile-an-hour wind.
No, you got to use a bit of common sense. Yeah. You know, you let them out and good and hungry. You know what? We've done this enough.
Yeah.
Hey, and again, I'm not going to give you sunshines and rainbows. Not every bird breaks either, eh? You got to be, it's life.
You're 100% right.
You know.
I just had a question. I'm just going to get, Alfred just wrote a lovely little letter to us, which I'm going to read. But just a question. So how long do they keep? I'm just so curious about these nets because, believe it or not, I've never seen them in action before. So my question is, you put the nets up, you let them out, you let them break with the nets. Well, I mean, eventually you got to take the nets away, right?
Yeah, you take the nets
So,
away.
so
But
my
what?
question is, how do you ensure them staying around? I get when you put the nets up, it keeps them in because clearly they're netted in. But once you take the nets away, like, isn't it kind of the same thing? Don't you think we should learn the bike right at the beginning? Like, let's
If
learn
I
how to ride it right at the beginning.
like what I said before, it's simple. The pigeons must respond to you. There's no sense putting pigeons in nets or large aviary or whatever you call it. If the darn pigeon doesn't love you, you just leave him out there in the net. If he's not responding, it's almost useless.
Well,
You know what I mean?
what the big nets do is it gets the bird away 20, 30 feet from the loft, and the only place to come in at night is where the boards are eventually when they figure it out and they come in. And I get that. And these big races, they do that. Sure. They're taking in 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 birds. Hell, half of those races, the owners that run the race, they don't even go in and feed the birds. They have people doing it for them. It's not even hands-on.
If I could say something that you're just saying, you just said it.
Thank you.
The birds have no respect for the loft owner. He just drops the feed and slams the door. That's what he does. They got no respect, right? They don't spend any time with them. That's what it is. No time with them. They don't know the difference between that one and this one, It's not easy even. It's a lazy boy's way. That's in my mind. Okay? That's it.
Yeah. It's like, again, I've been looking here the last couple of races there in Belgium, and they're flying 1,200 to 1,215, 1,300. And not one of the guys is writing, oh, that was a good, tough race. Not one of them's writing that, 50,000 release. Not one guy saying, boy, that was a good, tough race today. That was a good, tough race today. Yesterday, I watched a race down in Florida. They're flying 1,272. The internet was like this. Oh, what a tough race that was. Oh, what a tough race. I'm fucking going to myself like this. Guess what? In another 5 years, they're going to say flying 1,400 was a tough race. It's getting to be, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, you know what it's getting to be? Guess what? It's getting to be bullshit.
It's tougher for Florida because Florida's flying 1,500, 1,700. 2,100.
Can I ask you a question? At 1,272, do you think that's a tough race? That's not. It's not a tough race. We're not even starting to work yet.
It's getting to start.
No, but I'm watching the people on the internet. Right. Yeah. The people on the internet saying, "Boy, that's a tough race." Want me to tell you something? They didn't even start to dig yet.
All right. On that note, we're going to move on to Alfred. Alfred, I'm going to read this because I think it's lovely. I want to thank you guys for everything. I thought it was super nice and cozy. And also, what did you do to ensure the people in Canada have an idea of how the pigeons in Belgium and the Netherlands are doing? Next time, I would like to have I'd like to have Ryan a piece of meat ready to make on the barbecue. Perfect. I'm very much asked to also sell. Oh God, I just lost the damn comment, Alfred. Falling apart here. I'm very much asked to also sell other sites, but I stay with you because I trust in you. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you again for your efforts. And of course, also my thanks to the buyers of our pigeons. We are, Ryan obviously just got back last week on Thursday. We were talking to the wonderful people at the CFIA today with regards to bringing the pigeons in. And we are definitely, it is in the works and we are working on it. And we should have an answer within the next week or so. At the moment with this avian thing, as you know, in Canada, May the 9th, probably going to have to wait until then, to be honest, because I don't think they're going to let anything in with this avian influenza thing going on. But we are working on it, so not to worry. Always a pleasure to work with Alfred. And we do have something in the works with Alfred where hopefully we're going to be able to bring him over for season 5 to either Canada or the United States where you guys will get an opportunity to meet Combe Van Zorn and Alfred. Maybe he'd be able to even bring his dad over. That would be fantastic. Moving
Hold on, Leah. We don't want Alfred to come. Art, get better, my friend. You're coming. We got the spare room here. Art's coming with us. Alfred, you're going to have to stay home.
Premier League, hens have flown better than cocks on one loft races over the last 20 years. When cocks score, they are usually small to medium in size.
Yep. And I will take the last cock that I handled, was second in the Slovenian race, flying 640 kilometers for Emil Denny's. He was a small cock, nice muscle. He was built. I would have loved to have owned him. I would have purchased him right away.
Chihuahuas in the back. Tony says that we should pull the tail feathers of LMR. He will feel much better soon. Maybe we should.
Yeah. Well, if me and him are going to start fighting, I'm going to have to.
Heather Green, when it comes to shipping birds, what is the tip to use for the feed and water situation again? That's the whole, we did that little video. Ryan, remember
that? Yeah. I'll say, if you know what day you're shipping, you get your little marker rings on, so you're going to the post office and you got the pink bands are going to the Pioneer and the blue bands are going to the California Classic. Get all your bands and stuff done a day or two before. And what I would recommend is feed those birds before you send them. Give them feed, give them water, give them about 2 to 3 hours to get that food into their system, drink in, and settle. Let it settle. Especially if you haven't taken them in the car before. Because normally what happens, they throw up when they start to feel it. So this is why one of the things that we say is get your young pigeons used to going in the car, carrying them up to the house, putting them in the garage, drive them to the grocery store, do your groceries, give them a drink of water, bring them home, let them out back into the loft. You get them used to the rocking and the rolling of the basket. So when you go to ship them and they're full of feed, they understand it. They're not going to get car sick. And the other thing is, big tip, soak the feed in the water that you're going to send with your birds. Soak it for about 24 hours. Let it drink up all that water. So when you put whatever you're using, I use the widowhood crates. I fill the widowhood crates up with the wet feed. The pigeons go in the basket. They've already eaten. They're not hungry. But you know what? In about 10 hours, they're going to start to get hungry. And they're going to eat that wet feed. It's going to go in their system. It can break down. And those feed cups in a widowhood crate, I don't have any here. They're in the garage. I'll have them for next week's show. They feed one pigeon for about 3 to 4 days. So you should have no problems. Heaven forbid, the United States Post takes 7 to 10 days to get a parcel somewhere. Your young pigeons will be fine. Go ahead, Richard.
A pigeon's gizzard will hold feed up to 4 days. Okay. So if your pigeon didn't get any, if you fed him up good before you shipped him, he didn't get any feed tomorrow, he's going to still run. If he didn't get any feed the next day, he will still run. It's like it's designed for the wild. Okay. It's like a hawk eats every 2 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. The wild has designed that in case he can't find feed maybe tomorrow. He's good for at least 2 days with no feed. So the pigeons the same way. Like the plugs, the wild pigeons, they're all set up the same way. They eat today, and tomorrow if they don't find feed, they're okay. So I'm saying they're not going. Don't worry, they won't starve to death if they're 2 days. But I think your idea there, what you said, is very, very good.
Well,
soak some feed.
Soak it. And you look in a widowhood basket, you take a measurement. You see how much feed goes in one of those cups.
Yeah.
If you have one bird per stall, and you're going to pay just a little bit more for the basket, and you're going to pay just a little bit more for the shipping. But the one thing I guarantee you is you're shipping a pigeon properly. These cardboard boxes that the United Postal Service uses, I think they're great. They're perfect. They got the stupid film thing on the front of them, the dust collector, which is bad for pigeons. If I show the people rip the front of those out, I get people on here, the internet trolls. They say I'm a bad man. So you drill some holes in the box to let some more air out.
I just take a pen and just
holes. Guys, do not put your birds on shavings. Shavings and pigeons just don't match. Pine needles.
Pine needles are good.
Pine needles are great.
Don't put them on hay.
Straw. Do not put them on hay. If you want to know what we're talking about, put some hay in a basket, put some pigeons in it, and then about a half hour to an hour later, go and put your head over it. You'll feel the hay. What does it do? It sweats. It steams. And you know what?
It heats.
It heats. You're given respiratory. Shavings give respiratory. So if you're going to use those United States postal boxes, if it says 4 birds, put 2 birds in. Put 3 birds in. Don't put 6. Don't put 8. Don't pack them in. Have a little, ship them first class. Because remember, winning a lot of these races, it starts at the beginning, eh?
If you want to know how it feels, okay, take a
we have lots of comments. We got
Right.
lots of comments. Just
Take
want to remind
a paper
you.
bag, put it over your head, and put one little hole in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And go in a room where it's 70 degrees or whatever, and just
put it over your head. That's all you got to do.
breathing. You can't breathe.
Go ahead, Leah.
Getting back to the United States Post, I hear exactly what you're saying. We put up that video a couple times where you have advised people to put extra holes, pull that stupid filter off, give extra air holes. I cannot believe how many people have come to the defense of the United States Postal Service. What does the United States Postal Service know about how to ship pigeons properly? What do you think they know about that? And can I just finish? When the United States Postal Service figures out how to do their job properly, which means when I send a box and it's supposed to get there, I ship it on Monday and it's supposed to get there Tuesday. It's supposed to get there Tuesday, not Friday and not the next Monday. So when the United States Post figures out how to do their job properly to ensure safe travel for my pigeons, then I will adhere to their stupid filter rules. I will adhere to those rules when they can do their job properly. This is for the health and safety of the pigeons. I don't care what the United States Postal Service says. And if I got to break their rules to make sure my birds get there in one piece, then I will do that. And if my postmaster doesn't want to accept the box with a few extra air holes put in it, I will go to another post office and send it from another post office. Because Ryan has sent hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of birds that way, and has not once had a problem. That's my soapbox on that. Moving on, Mike Sheridan. I will say it, please don't pull the flights. Mike Sheridan is not a fan of pulling the flights, and that's what the great thing is about this show, guys. We can agree to disagree respectfully, so that's totally cool. Mike doesn't want to pull the flights, no problem. Elamar is right, responding. Not sure what we're talking about there. Probably about having the birds respond to the loft manager. That is the best net in the world. We don't need nets when the birds are responding properly to a loft manager who has an invested interest in what it is that he's doing in the loft.
Tell people how I broke the Manny bird that we went in partners with the one loft race, and it came here, and how I broke it by accident. It's not by accident. It's the way I take care of my birds.
Wow.
Right? Those damn things look for me.
I know.
And we had Troy over the other day. My widowhood cocks were out here fooling around, and I was 100 feet from the loft, and I gave a little whistle. They were all out just fooling around. Huh? Within 2 seconds, they're boom, 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 boom. And so, exactly what the person said.
Yeah, it's just responding. Guys, responding, respect all this. It's a loft manager putting time into a loft. You don't get it by watching TV. You get it by playing with pigeons. Anyways, go ahead, Leah.
Brian and Phil, I think have put up some names of some one lofts that do use the netting system. So if you guys are interested in seeing how it works, you can certainly head on over to their page. I'm sure they do lives every day where you can see the netting system in action. Premier League, you do not need nets to settle pigeons for a one loft race. I think that's kind of our theory on that as well. But to each their own. And if the nets are working for the other one lofts, by all means, let them keep doing it. We don't take in 3,000 or 5,000 pigeons. That's not our jam. That's not what we're interested in. So a net for 200 to 300 pigeons or 400, I don't know. Is it necessary? I don't know. Loft manager Richard, and then I got more comments.
Okay, also, if they take in 3,000 or 5,000 birds, they don't have the time to look at each bird or whatever. And they can't have a small aviary to put 3,000 birds in. So they put out a net. Okay. But in the same token, you got to get to respond. Okay.
I'm not even worried about that.
I know a story some years ago, 40 years ago, or maybe 50 years ago. A man's name was Charlie Jackson. He passed away. Okay. He would buy a bird that won maybe 3 or 4 combine races. And he was, you'd have to say, crazy enough. He'd go and buy that bird from a fella, was 2-year-old, take it home in the fall, and the next spring, he'd be racing it out of his own loft and winning with that pigeon that did so well for somebody else. You got a system of...
Right. You got a system.
You got a system.
And what is the most beautiful thing about a one loft race? Watch this. Ready? Everybody that watches this show, you all do one. You can build your loft. Hell, there's a guy out there in Nova Scotia, Nick Fan. He's never raced a whole season ever. He's got a one loft race going. Congratulations. Get in the deep end. You know what? All you do is bang, bang, bang some wood up, buy a clock, drop it in, and guess what you can say? I'm a professional.
Right.
And that's it. It's simple. Nets, no nets, soaping wings, pulling flights. Don't even let them out.
I'm going to move on to some more comments.
Okay, go.
Premier League, I am sorry that the last comment by Richard about other one loft races was nonsense. Most of the other one loft races in the world are very professional. And again, guys, this is a great thing about this show. We can absolutely agree to disagree. It sounds like Premier League has been around the block quite a number of years, as he was stating results from 20 years ago with the Cocks or Hens. So that's perfect. I know Ryan and Richard, they've been in this quite a while. And I think Premier League, you would agree, as in everything with life, there are good and bad in everything. There are one loft races that are professional, and there are some that are just plain garbage. And I would not say that most of them, I don't know. I think you're going to get good and bad in everything. And I think that we're all entitled to our opinions. And I think that there are some really great ones. And I think there are some really terrible ones where guys are just not caring about the pigeons at all and are doing it because they think they're going to make some quick cash. And I really do feel that that's the truth. And I think that Ryan and Richard feel that as well. And I think it's okay to say that.
Yeah. And you know what? If I had the property and this property here is a different property. There's no room for nets here. We don't have this. If I was taking in more birds and I wanted to have another different look, and I wanted to do that, okay. I wouldn't have nets out on grass. I wouldn't do it. I've had it before. I've seen problems with it. I'm not interested in nets on the grass. I don't have a gravel lawn. I'm not interested in these nets at this time of my life. Does it look good for the people coming in to see big nets? I'm going to tell you something.
How many birds is this fella putting in nets?
No, I'm saying you take a look at these big races. You take a look. Just hold on. No, we're going to take the Africa Pro. Okay? They got nets, man. They got nets you could keep lions in. They got big nets. Good. That's what they're doing. They're taking in 6,000 pigeons. Victoria Falls, over both their lofts. Big nets. That's what they're doing.
What I said is if people can't spend time with the pigeons, I don't believe the proper way. So they can't put them in little aviaries. So they put these nets out. Hopefully they got the pigeons respond to them when those nets are out. And, that's,
whatever they're doing, they're doing. And again, a million ways to bake a cake, man.
That's right.
Just let it go.
And there's nothing wrong if they want to use nets, use nets. If you're looking to enter our race and you're thinking we're going to use nets, or nets is something that we put into our training program, that doesn't happen. So if you're a fan of nets, this isn't the race for you. There are some other ones that I think Brian Mansker and Phil have put up. You might want to check those ones out. Premier League, is it right that you will have around 450 birds that will enter your one loft race?
Yeah, well, if the birds show up, right? If the people bring them, right? There's always people who back out. There's people who show up last minute. So yeah, I'd say you're going to get between 350 and 450 birds.
Brian Mansker last week had one 1,300 yards per minute. Only one day bird for me, 437 miles, 18 miles per hour, sustained, and gusts up to 45 miles per hour. That is a learning day. The rest came back the next morning. Good job.
Good job.
It's a good bird.
Sure.
Tracy, I hear you, sister. The U.S. mail can't even ship my letter properly, let alone live animals. And I'm not ragging on the U.S. Post because the Canadian Post is even worse. I think they're still using horse and buggy sometimes because it literally will take 2 weeks to send a letter from here, from like the south end of Canada to the whatever, east end of Canada or whatever. Anyway, moving on. Phil had them for up to 4 days in the box. They were fine. Oh yeah, with shipping so many pigeons, we could write a book of stories. So yeah, just prepare them. Prepare for the off chance that they might get stuck in the post for a minimum of 5 days. Could possibly be a week. Could be longer. Just prepare them for that, okay? Because it's better to prepare them than not prepare them and have something go wrong. Mike Vandriak, the USPS union fears diseases, and that is why they insist on the biofilters. I'm sure that there's a reason behind it, Mike Vandriak. I'm sure that there is. They have their reasons, and I have mine for putting extra holes in it. Moving on.
If they're really worried about disease, guess what? Don't ship the pigeons by post.
They send birds. They send birds from Europe in little baskets.
Yeah.
How many holes do they have in those baskets?
The whole basket's a hole.
Yeah. We should count them.
That large.
Yeah, I will.
Plus, I could get a basket in here, and we'll count all those other little holes that they got.
But the problem is, Mike,
from Europe.
Hold on. Ringle dingle, Mike, you came up with that one. I want you to count the holes in the widowhood basket just on one level all the way around. Mike, that's your job for next week. We gave Mike a job. Good job, Mike.
JS has a good question. I thought wet feed could get birds sick.
Nope.
So let's talk about that.
No, it's you look at the breeders. Some breeders sprout their own feed. They let feed wet. They wet in the feed until it sprouts. Then they feed the sprouts to the pigeons. Wet feed, no, doesn't hurt. I mean,
wet feed in water? Fine. Maybe he means like, okay, feed that has fallen and is in poop, and then the birds are eating poop wet feed. I mean,
yeah,
well, sure, they're going to get sick from that.
We're talking about let's say soaking corn in water, let it absorb water, and then put it into, when you're shipping the birds, put it into the little feeder, and
they eat it.
They want to eat. They've got what do you call it?
They got the moisture. The moisture's into the corn, so it helps it break down. It hydrates them, right. And again, you can soak your feed with electrolytes if you want.
Put Gatorade in. It's very good.
You know, there's many different ways, but wet feed, you won't have a problem.
You freeze the feed. Soak it and freeze it.
Well, you know, another thing that I should have shown, and I have it in the garage. Take your muffs off. I think they're in the, you know where they are. They're in the freezer.
Oh, that's in the freezer?
Yeah, you soak your feed, and then if you leave it in your feed cups and you freeze them, pop them out. When you go to put them in your shipping container, drop them in. Well, it could take an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours before it melts. And normally, when you take birds to a post office, that's when the feed in the container spill. So, you know, you give the lady the box. The lady bumps the box, moves the box, the feed spills out, or the water should spill out. If you put everything frozen, it'll be on the truck, less moving. That's just another tip. Ricky's going to go get one.
Sorry, guys. Phil, Leah, exclamation mark. We're fired up here today. They
Uh-oh.
send them back. They send them back overnight. Talking about the post, sometimes due to the boxes in the U.S. Been there and done that. Watching a shipment, it's coming back. Why? One hole was poked in one hole of the distribution center. Nope. This goes back after traveling all afternoon and evening. Hello, Phil. You do you, and we're gonna do us. If you want to put filters and cover the holes and protect the USP, whatever, go right ahead. If they send them back to you, I would honestly complain to the post. If that was me, I'd be on the phone and I'd be screaming at someone. But hey, that's just me. Moving on. Phil, Ryan, be interested in how to settle the birds and how they need to look back at the loft and how to get back inside.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you'll see how we do Richard's landing board. My landing board, I've done it 2 seasons now like this. And I don't know, maybe I've lost each year a dozen to 15 off the roof at the beginning. But you know, I never scare birds when we let them out. I take my time with them. I make sure they're hungry. When I open the chutes, I just walk away. I let them be themselves. And normally we don't have problems. That's that. And again, getting back to the shipping, I ship out of Buffalo, New York. I've got 2 or 3 post offices that I normally use. They see how I ship them. I've had no problems. Now, if you have a problem at one post, I would go to a different post or something, or I would complain, because I've had boxes that I've picked up for myself. They were soaked. The bottom of the box almost fell apart. I don't know what happened to this box, but hey, I couldn't believe it. There was birds coming to me that I bought.
Premier League from YouTube says, I use a benchmark. If the loft gets 30% of birds entered to the final 500 kilometers and gets 30% of those birds home in the final race, they have had a good race.
Yeah. I mean, you could, the problem is with 99% of the one loft races, they don't run on a system. They don't run like clockwork. You're going to see at ours, once race 1 starts, every Saturday we race. Now, if it's pissing down with rain, we hold them till Sunday. Our birds get basketed on Thursday. They have a holdover Friday. The race is Saturday. If the race doesn't come off on Saturday, it comes off on Sunday. If it doesn't come off on Sunday, it goes off on Monday. That's how we do it. We hold a consistent boom, boom, boom. Last year, we did 9 races. We averaged speed. Our average speed over the 9 races was just over 1,000. It was a very tough season. We flew 4 300-mile basically races. And you want me to tell you something? That's a race I want to enter in. Again, I'm looking at races, and I guess you could say the one up right now is the one in Spring Hill, right? The one Andy's doing. I'm not knocking it. But, dude, it's easy racing. It's not even on a schedule. It's, look, waiting to get payment, waiting for this, waiting for that. Tailwind. First race was what? 2,100. The last race, guaranteed. The last race, she's going to be a cakewalk. That's that. And you know what? People say, oh, that's great. That's great. You know what? I want to see in and out. Give me 9, 10 races every 7 days. A race. Then we're going to start judging. You know what? If I did it like everyone else, I think we get way higher results, eh? Because you know what you do? You baby them. Anyways, Alfred, you know what I'm talking about. Olympic Henny, she didn't win it by being babied.
Olympic Henny had to compete for 2 years straight to achieve her result. 2 years straight. I don't know how many weeks. I could look it up. It was a lot. Moving on. Wait, I just want to say, before we show that, I just want to get a European's perspective on one loft racing and our statement, or what Richard said, that the one loft races, you really have to look to find good ones. I want to get a European's perspective. And as we all know, Alfred is from the Netherlands. He disagrees with the comment that all one loft races are good or play wisely. At 99%, it's just throw the pigeons in the loft. We put cheap people on it to feed and train the pigeons, but these people have no idea what and how to deal with pigeons. It is only about money in such loft. It is a joke, and in a sense, also animal suffering. That is a European's perspective. As you guys know, if you watch some of the loft tours, every breeder we visited, I think Ryan asked every one of them, do you participate in one loft races? How do you feel about one loft races? And the majority, I would say 80% of them don't. Just because of that reason, right there.
I can say something.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
But I'll take a person like Emil Dennis or Annemie Van He.
Yep.
Those people fly one loft races, but they do their homework before they go in a one loft race.
Yeah.
They make sure the people do their work.
You know,
otherwise they don't go in.
I talked to Emil, right? And I named them off the big race in Pattaya. You know what he says to me? He says, why would I go there? That race is already bought. That race is already bought before the race starts. Well, would you like to go to this race in the US? Why would I go to that race? It's pre-bought. It's all pre-figured out. And I says, well, how do you know this? And he says, because when there's that type of money and there's certain people playing, the money is gone. It's already figured out. And if you guys just take a real good look, you'll see it there. It's right in front of you. I asked Emil about a couple of these other races, and I'm not dropping names of these races. He says, I'm not interested at all. I'm sorry, I won't put my birds there. He says, I'm not going. I just call the mob guys up and give them the money.
That moves in nicely with Mike Green's comment, which I think is a great one. You study your one loft races and enter the one that best fits you. That absolutely hits the nail on the head, Mike Green. I couldn't have said it better myself. Do what's best for you, what fits best for you. We've had people come and go in our one loft race, people who tried it and didn't like it and didn't come back, and that's okay. And that's okay. Ryan's entered one loft races, done it once, wasn't to his taste, is not going to go back, and that's okay. With 70 or 80 of them in North America, there's lots to pick from for everybody. Find the one that best fits you. And Pioneer might not be it. And that's okay too. But sure, watch, join, and still have fun. Even if you're not participating. Go ahead, Richard.
Someone may say, well, how do you study a one loft race? Well, you could almost start off the first time you go there. Let's work backwards. I went and watched the last race. 325 miles, 500 and something kilometers. Black clouds, hard west wind. Birds are coming out of the northeast. And so shoulder headwind, black clouds, thunder clouds. And when the pigeons arrive on that day, they come home in pretty good time. So they come home around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, it's a pretty good time. But when they come and they start clapping their wings and gliding, and they circle 3 times around, 4 times around, and then they land on the lawn and start picking for slugs, and the cocks are starting to chase the hens around, and then they fly up onto the guy's barn. I'm sorry, but sorry. I'm sorry. Something wrong there.
Well, pigeons don't do the distances, and you see it. And again, I'm going to say,
pigeons 20 miles, man. They got to come and hit that board and go in.
I'm going to say, you take a look at the little races running here in Canada. How many of them are copying Pioneer to try and do the daily video? Now, this is the easy part, eh? It's when you start going up that damn hill, and the pigeons don't respond, and you got to figure out, how do we get them to do it? Do you keep that camera on? Do you play that funky music? Do you keep the music going? And that's what you see here. You'll see if we lose them down to 5 pigeons. We've done it before. We just keep the music playing. We show you from start to finish. And I would really like all these one loft races to do more and more. Show more, give you, the breeders that enter, the transparency to see what your birds are going through, what they're eating, how they like to grit, how they like the minerals he puts down, how he scrapes the boxes out, all the good shit. Let's see it all. Anyways, take it away, Leah.
Mike Vanderyak, the PSPS Union would love to stop taking pigeons. If they stop taking pigeons, Mike, you can blame me. My name's Leah Zonikin, and you can put the blame on me that I am the reason why we are no longer shipping pigeons throughout the United States, because we suggested to poke some extra ventilation holes in their cardboard boxes. That's fine. I will take the blame for that because I will always side with the safety of the pigeons before I will side with any union. But that's just me.
Let's go back, Michael.
I'm
Michael,
feeling
come
a
on.
tardy. I'm feeling a tardy.
Hold on. I'm gonna let her go. Take a look at each one loft race in America. There's 70 races. Half of them take 500 birds or more. And take a look at how many birds are being shipped. Take on average how much a post box is. The United States Postal Service, they don't want to stop that. They make money. They don't give a shit. Put the birds on and send them. I'm sorry to say, but they're making money. They're making hand over fist money.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. It's hand over fist money. They're going to stop it. Okay. When they stop it, I'm going to get a plane and ship everyone's birds for them.
Moving on. Premier League, 400 birds, 130 to the final race, 40 home on the day in that final. That is my prediction. If you can achieve that, it's a job well done. 400 birds, 130 to the final race, 40 home on the day in the final. That is my prediction. For us, that is your prediction?
Well, no. I think he's saying he's just taking it as a one loft races in general. You take 400 birds in, you get to the final race with 130, you clock 40 on the day. And I'm going to say, if I'm taking, hold on, I'm going to say if I'm taking 130 birds to that final race and I clock 40 on the day, I did a shit job. I think I did a shit job.
This person here is
No. He's thinking what he thinks is nice, I'm thinking
this person.
no. He's just saying what he feels is a success.
Right.
He's outside looking in.
Right.
And what I'm thinking,
when those 40 birds come on the day,
right?
How do they come?
No, we're not talking about from 500 kilometers. When you send birds to 500 kilometers, 300 miles, and you send 130,
right?
How many birds you want home on the day? How many birds do you want home? If you send 130
altogether,
by the end of the day,
depends on the day.
Depends on the day.
Right?
A 1,200 yard day.
1,200 yard day. I think I'd expect about 70.
70 to 100, I would think. Yeah. I think.
Right.
That's what I'm feeling. Well trained. Yeah. That's what I would hope.
And when they come home,
now,
I want to see them hit the board and go in.
And you know what?
I don't want to see them on the guy's barn or on the roof. And
plugging around.
Has to get up there with tennis balls and with a stick. I agree. Try and get them off the roof.
Moving on.
I like what Phil said there, or Premier League. You know what? That's being very fair. He's being fair on that, and I take that. Thank you. I'm not against that. Getting 40 home on the day. I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining either. I would not complain at all if on the final race we got 40 home on the day. I would not be complaining at all. I'd be good with that.
You'll hear me complain to you, Leah.
Moving on. Phil is going to abide by the U.S. Post regulations because he needs to get his birds from point A to point B. Great job, Phil. You keep doing you. Perfect. JS, thanks for correcting the misinformation that was given to me. I love, guys. I got a race that is doing great for me. I get all the information from FIPA, and I'm a newbie. Good. Thank you very much for watching. We do appreciate it. Premier League's on fire tonight. Those type of one loft races that do not do a good job do not stay around too long. Well, you certainly hope not. Premier League, the one loft race of Battaglia is run by one of the richest guys in the world. He does not need money. We all need money, Premier League. I would definitely disagree with you on that one. All you have to do is see what's his face, Elon, whatever his name is, Musk. He's got all the money in the world, and he still wants more. Battaglia is one of the best run loft races in the world. Ryan, stop doing that because it's echoing in my... Frank Eichhorn, it will never happen, Ryan. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Probably about people being more transparent and showing more. Hey, from when we started 2 years ago showing everything, If you just look and see how many more One Loft races are getting on board with showing you guys, even if it's just a little 5-minute clip of the day or, whatever, I think it's fantastic. I think it's great.
Yeah, it's good. There's nothing wrong with it. It's called the sport needs to evolve. 100%. But start to finish, let's see it.
Phil has a question. Do you like that funky music or how they perform?
Both. Without the funky music, they don't perform.
Okay, Michael Peebler, LMR has his show and tell. All right, what are we doing for show and tell? What do we got there?
We got Squeaky,
Oh, that's
Ricky.
it.
We're gonna show Squeaky. Now, hey guys, Phil, this one's for you. Those cardboard boxes. This is a great thing. You see, this is a widowhood cup. You see it? You push this into the inside of the box, and you push it in, fold it over, bam, bam. You can give your birds food right in the cardboard box. That's one way. You are tampering with the box, but
They'll never know.
If they do know, shit, you can blame me, and I owe you a box. But for other people, it works real, real good. Again, if you fill these things up with wet feed, put them in your freezer, freeze them, bring them out, pop them out, put them back into your freezer. Just when you put your birds in, put one in, and man, it holds good. And when they move it at the beginning at the post office, you don't lose no wet feed. Once they settle, it starts to melt, the pigeons go for it.
Antonio, if you guys get the birds from Buffalo, New York, do we still pay an export fee? If you guys get the birds from Buffalo, New York, do we still pay an export fee? Who said what
No,
export
we're
fee?
talking
What
the
are we
one
talking
loft
about?
birds.
Yeah, this is One Loft birds. If you guys get the birds from Buffalo, do we still pay an export fee? There's no export fee with One Loft birds.
I guess he has to read.
I'm not sure if he's talking about auction birds. Auction birds and shipping of One Loft birds are two totally different things. So there's no export fees on shipping One Loft bird stuff, or import
Yeah.
fees, or any kind of fees. There aren't any. Troy, a lot of pigeons that go to One Loft races don't make it back because they cannot handle the longer races, in my honest opinion.
Well, sure they can't handle the longer races. Again, young birds more than likely you're judging them on 500 to 600 kilometer races, 400 to 600 kilometer races. That's when you start to judge them. Everything else is nice. I mean, sprint races are a lot of fun, but it's different pigeons, and not every pigeon can handle. I will say most of the time here in North America, they're 6 to 7.5 hour races. Where you start to see the real super young pigeons is pigeons that can go 8 9 on the wing and be a winner. That's the cream of the crop. You get a hen that gives you 9 to 10 hours, wins a one loft race, and it's a good race day. Normally, you'll breed you good ones. I think. My feeling. Go ahead.
What Troy's saying is right, but I think we have to understand that if the people managing the one loft race do not know how to condition, physical condition, and feeding properly, then you can't expect a large group of those pigeons to finish that. They haven't been stretched out enough. They haven't done that work, and they haven't, exercising, training, exercising. They will never do it. They'll never do it. You're basically, and I think someone said there before, it's cruel.
Yeah, Alfred.
It's cruel.
It's funny to say it, but people think it's cruel to race them every 7 days, right? It's actually helping you out. It's allowing them to keep in condition. Holding them for 14 days or 10 days, you slowly take the conditions off, and I believe that's what I seen happen there yesterday.
Yeah, let me say something.
Okay.
from a team. He has to play a game every Saturday or every Sunday. He is constantly through the week watching them, training them, keeping that body moving, keeping everything right. And if those players can't play a game once a week, that coach, he's doing something wrong.
Or those, or the players don't have it.
Oh, players don't have it. Well, come on. Then he should
either
be
or.
playing with those
Either
players.
or.
Right.
Go ahead, Leah.
Mike Vandriak, the United States Postal Service switched air carriers a few years back and did cancel live shipments. It took the AU a lot of effort to get it reinstated. The USPS could care less about One Loft racing revenue. Operating revenue was $73.1 billion for 2020, an increase of nearly $2 billion compared to the prior year. Fantastic. I don't know.
Give them a round of applause.
Thank you to the AU, and don't listen to me or us because we're wrong. Do what you want. It's fine. I'm not going on about it anymore. I'm over it. Okay, moving on. Premier League. For fanciers' information, the Pattaya One Loft race winner was sold to China for over 100,000 euros. One Loft race winners are in demand, especially in Asia. Yes, they absolutely are. Asia and in North America, they are. In Europe, not so much. Mike Green, I'm going to ship mine in the Widowhood crate. The extra worth it to make sure they get there in good shape. Yes, for those of you who did purchase or did get Widowhood crates from us shipped to you the last time Ryan was there, you're good to go. And again, let's take a look. Mike, you've got a Widowhood crate there. Why don't you and Heather this evening after the show count how many unfiltered holes are in the Widowhood crate that we sent to you. And then let's think about this USPS filter cloth, blah, blah, whatever. It doesn't make sense at all. That's my point. It doesn't make any sense. Moving on. Phil, thanks, Ryan. There is no containers, frozen or otherwise, in my shipping boxes. Number two, One Loft race breeder in the US last year.
Hey, my question was, you were number two. You were number two. Let's give him a round of applause. Number two. Who was number one? What did he do different? Isn't that something? There's always something that number one did that number two didn't do, right? And number three didn't do what number two did, and number four didn't do what number one did. So, hey, you know what? You can take it. You don't have to use it. I don't give a shit. What I do is I just give people tips. Use them if you want. You don't have to use them. Again, number two. Congratulations.
I'm going to ask you
a question. I'm not number two. I'm not number two.
Can I ask you a question? The reason why you're showing this idea is to make it better for
Do you want me to tell you something?
That's it.
Do you want me to tell you something? If I send birds to a One Loft race, I pox them number one. That's the first dirty pool I'm going to play.
Right, that's right.
You know what? I'm giving people tips to use it or don't. Is it better if I don't give anybody a tip? And guess what? Learn how to pail out water out of a boat yourself. How shit would this show be without tips? How shit would it be?
I'll give you a tip.
I'm not really sure. I don't really know what else people want to talk about. We're trying to give people helpful tips. Right. If you can take them or don't take them, it's totally up to you. We're not doing this to hurt anybody. We're just doing it to try and help.
Here is number one simple tip.
I gotta go to the bathroom. Sorry.
When you take your birds to ship them, okay?
Why did you cut her off?
She had to go to the bathroom.
You're not listening here now. Anyways, we don't need any more tips. I'm done with the tips for tonight because you know what the tips are. No, we're not talking any more tips. You know what my tip is? Let's pretend this show has no tips. Watch. This is what it will sound like. Did your birds go out and fly today, Richard? Did they?
And I'm back. Okay, I think we're going to do the Squeaker Squad, show us your photos. We're going to do that draw, and then we're going to wrap the show up because we've been on for an hour and a half, and we're all starting to fight, and I'm not interested in fighting this evening.
We're not fighting.
So
I'm not fighting.
Just looking for tips. I got a real good tip.
We're not
I don't want any more tips. Okay, we've already said it 3
It's real
times. No more
simple.
tips.
A real simple.
We're not. We're picking out of here.
Okay, so before we pick out of there, I'm just going to say something, if you don't mind, if we could just keep the dog quiet. I'm just going to thank everybody for submitting their photos. Got some photos here that I will try and show. Hopefully this is going to work while Ryan shakes up the bowl. Here's some great photos from Show Us Your Squeakers. I know they're not the biggest. I am going to do a collage once we get them all up there. But some great photos from everybody. Hopefully you guys see some of yours. I can't enlarge this for some reason, but looking
Well, hey,
pretty
we got to thank the
good.
people that took the time to do this, eh? That's making the show
Yeah,
good.
look, we even got photos with their owners. Look at this,
Very
the Green
nice.
family. Oh, we got
There
some
you
bitches
go.
in the mix. You guys are doing great. Look at that, Mike Green.
Come on, Mike. What are you showing off? Mike showing off.
I got to enlarge this one. What a great photo.
Oh yeah,
That
look
should
at
be
this.
your profile pic there, Mike. All right. Should we do the drum roll?
Very good.
Drum roll. Let me get the drum roll. What are we giving away? We're giving away 1 free entry into the One Loft race, $350 value. We're going to give away 2 of them this evening because we missed out last week.
There you go.
Read her
Ricky,
out.
read it. Wait, I'm going to grab another one.
Drum roll. Wait a minute.
Okay, Ricky, you read the first one.
Ricky, read the first one.
Cam V.
Cam V.
Cam
KMV.
Mantroba, you are the winner of a free perch. I'm gonna see while you read that name if I can get the photo that they posted. I do have it here. Let me
Okay.
enlarge it. This is a great photo. Here we go. That's Cam's entry. We see Cam's daughter giving her participants a little bath. That's awesome. Right in the bathtub
Cute,
with
eh?
shampoo and everything. That's great, guys. I love that you're getting your kids involved. That is fantastic. Keep it up. Okay, did we do the drum roll for that one or no?
Yeah,
Did
you
I?
already did it. I pulled it. I
Okay.
pulled it. Here you go.
Okay. All right. And the next winner, I can't read that because it's okay.
It says the kind.
Dekine Loft. Dekine Loft. Congratulations, friends. You get another perch in the Pioneer One Loft race. Dekine Loft and Cam Bantroba, you are tonight's lucky winners. So we're going to do this all over again next week, guys. So not to worry. We got two more Mondays, I think, to do this. I think 2 more Mondays. So guys, make sure you post your photos on our Facebook page. Show us your squeakers. I'm just going to put the little advert. You're going to see it pinned at the top of our page on our Facebook page. Post your photos of your Pioneer One Loft race participants for your chance to win another free perch next week. We're going to give away in the Pioneer One Loft race. So well done there. Everybody's giving their congratulations. Guys, that is absolutely great to see. We have some more questions here that I'm going to get to. Lots of comments. Hold on. Okay, Phil,
Oh
Gert
no.
won more money than I did. Hats off to him. Well done, Gert. I don't know who that is, but well done. Sherry, you are right. Positivity and no tardies.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
right.
Thank you
Yeah,
for reminding me of that, and we are going to absolutely try and remain positive.
there's the winner right there.
Decline Loft, he requests tips. No problem. We will do the best that we can here. Premier League pox, the number one problem for one loft pigeons sent to countries with hot climates. Vaccine for pox is a good tip. Antonio, thanks guys. Great show. Thank you for watching. JS, how do I go about purchasing one of those widowhood boxes? And we are concerned about birds. USPS bullshit rules and the money they made keep flying. There you go. Widowhood boxes, JS, where are you located? If you're in the States, the next time Ryan goes and you're looking to purchase one, we could certainly ship you one. Let us know if you are interested. Heather says that she loves all the tips. All the tips have made pigeon racing a fun and good experience. That's awesome and give me more courage and enjoyment for the race season with the Pioneer and Flying Bitches Loft. Woohoo, Heather, a flying bitch. Love it. Frank Eichhorn, congratulations to everybody. Everybody's giving their congratulations. Let's see if I have any more questions. Dekine says tips are important. Yes, they are.
And you know what, Phil? I like how Phil's fired up, and congratulations on being second to Coldenbag. He's a hell of a good flyer. They put a lot of work into their pigeons. You guys know what you're doing, especially in the States. There's good races to play at. We welcome you, Phil, to come and participate again. I think you'll have a good time if you're on the show. You can watch it, you can enjoy it, and hey, you know what? You're going to see from start to finish. So we welcome you. We welcome everyone to participate. It's an open forum. You're not going to love everything we do, but hey, we're not supposed to love everything. I don't love everything he does, and he doesn't love everything I do. We each bake our cakes differently. That's what makes this sport so great. Richard, I know you're pointing that finger. Go for it, buddy.
I think the other person said tips are very good, and we shouldn't stop on tips.
Oh, we're not good.
No, just wait. And I think what you do is take a score on talk to different people, and guys give you tips, okay? And listen to it. And then you may talk to someone else. He gives you a tip. And it's the same tip roughly the other guy gave you. So you put all those together and you make a formula. You say, sure, I think this is a good idea.
Right. And again, okay. Everyone has different,
But listen who you take the tips from. You have to remember who you're taking the tips from. Have they really experienced what they're talking about? Or do they think they know what they're talking about? Then, it's like saying putting hay in a basket. Well, hay, it's okay, put it in a basket. Well, I'm telling you, it heats up, okay? How many times do barns burn because the farmer harvests hay when it's too damp, and then he puts it in the barn and it heats? Barn burns. It heats. Hay heats. So don't use hay. So that's a good tip. Right? Other guy says use hay. Well, okay. So listen to what tips you hear.
We don't put tips out to hurt people. We don't put tips out to lead people astray. We do it with the best of intentions. And I'm sure the majority of you all know that. Moving on.
Yeah.
Phil Hubis. Who in North America doesn't know Gert Kolvenbag? Jeez. To be honest with you, Phil, my concentration the last 3 months has been all the Geerts that I know in Europe, and I've really not thought about Gert Kolvenbag, so it didn't even come in my mind. He's not a priority on my list at the moment. So no offense, Gert Kolvenbag. All right, moving on. JS, I am in the US, Maryland to be exact. We could absolutely ship you a widowhood crate in Maryland, not a problem. What do they go for again, Ryan? We have different sizes.
I think they're about 125. They're one-time use widowhood crate.
You mean they've been used only one time?
One-time use.
You can use them 100 times later if you want.
Yeah, they're one-time used. I've used them all one time. So.
Text Ryan, JS 416-990-0187. We'll get you hooked up with a widowhood crate if you want one. Omar, watching from Puerto Rico. Buenas noches, amigo. Nice to see you on. That's about all the Spanish I know. Mike Vanderyak, people who believe hens outperform cocks in one loft races. I don't know. Don't know what we're talking about. Angel, my birds cannot wait to get to Canada. Angel, we cannot wait to see your birds and to have them arrive. We are looking forward to this season now that the auction season is over and we're getting all those loose ends tied up. We're super excited about this season. It's going to be a great season. We have lots of fun things planned for everybody, including the pigeons. Mike Parrish, do you have to already purchase a perch to win a chance at one? Well, kind of.
You got it. Come on. Hey, guys, if you like our show and you like what we do, putting one bird in our race, you get a whole season full of fun. It's a little bit of support. It helps everything go. 350, what is that? 350 US and Canadian, that comes out to what? I don't know, 275?
You
and
know
you're
what?
in it, you can win a whole lot of money and have a whole hell of a lot of fun. And guess what?
You know,
You can be mad at a loft manager all year long.
you know what? That we've gotten a whole bunch of support, even from people maybe that are outside and aren't able to send birds. Next week, we're going to give a perch away for a Pioneer participant who posts a photo of their squeaker. And how about we give some swag away to some Pioneer swag, maybe a Pioneer t-shirt or a cap to somebody who's on the fence and maybe not a participant yet, but is still participating in our draws, because I love participation from anywhere. The more participation, the better. So just for you, who asked that? Mike. Sorry, Mike. Mike Parrish, just for you. Next week, throw up your photos. If you're not participating or you're on the fence or you want to just share your pride and joy, share it up on our post on Facebook and we'll do a draw for some Pioneer swag, or Pigeon Boss swag. Go ahead, Brian.
And remember, I don't know, if somebody is watching and they don't have birds and they want to participate, you don't have birds, let us know. We can hook you up with a breeder that can supply you a bird, or hold off, wait, because we're going to have our Pioneer Young Bird auction where you will be able to own a pigeon from start to finish the whole season. You will own it. It's yours even at the end of the season, and you can watch it compete for you.
Yes, you will. Rob Wong. And Michael Peevler wants to see some show and tell. So besides that that little feeder, that little red thing, hopefully we got something better to show Michael Peevler, because he's all pumped about show and tell. While we get our Ricky show and tell for the evening, Rob Wong. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for doing the interview with Jan Hoymans. I like the technology his loft has, i.e. climate control system, automatic water, etc. Question. Were there any webcams set up there? I didn't notice any in the video.
I didn't I didn't ask him about that. I was more interested in looking at the birds. I'll do that the next time. No, I didn't see any. I didn't see any webcams, but I've seen security cameras for sure. I don't know if he has webcams, but security cameras he definitely had.
Also, we do have the footage for Jan Hoymans that I have to put together his actual loft tour, right?
Yep. Yeah, we have
So,
that. We have Eric Lindbergh's. We have Guy Van and Howard. I said it wrong, Frank, but you'll correct me. We got a whole whack of footage that you guys haven't seen. Stick to the
that's coming.
page.
So stick with the page, Rob Wong. The full loft tour of Jan Hoymans will be coming up within the next couple months. Whenever his is done, I will put it up, so stay tuned for that. Tracy says the entertainment value alone makes one perch fee totally worth it. Just ask Tracy. She knows. We got her hooked. She's building the loft now. She's a flying bitch. We're on fire. Henry, do we send new photos every week?
Sure.
How many? You could send new photos every week, Henry. Sure, why not? The more the merrier. Let's flood Facebook with Pioneer squeakers. The more the better. The more the merrier. All right, Loft Manager Richard, who do you got there?
We got this little guy here was abandoned by his mother. And so we're just bottle feeding him, and he just wants to live. And what are you gonna do?
Look at that.
That's the show and tell of the week.
Show and tell
Squeaky
of the week.
How freshly baked is that one? How many days old is that one out of the oven?
3 days old. About 3 days old.
3 days, freshly baked.
No more than 3 days old. And
Look
he
at the little guy.
He wants to eat.
Yeah.
See him?
See him? Yeah, he wants to eat.
Look, boy, look at him! Look.
Oh, he's ready to eat.
Get the little bottle. Let's
get the syringe.
We're gonna show you him eating. Here you go. This is Ricky live.
Rob Long says, nice. Thanks for the upcoming future Jan Hoymans video. Our pleasure. Jan Hoymans coming Feathers Leet Pigeon Auction Season 5, guys. Stay tuned for that. Premier League. Do you guys send into any one loft races? The one loft races in Thailand are becoming very popular. Ryan, Thailand, where are you going in January?
I'm going with Emil Denny's to Thailand. We're putting in 20 birds.
Which is fantastic. Emil Denny has personally invited Loft Manager Ryan to accompany him. to Thailand in January, and he's going to show Ryan around and show him the ropes. Tracy says, "What is his name?" I don't know, guys. What do you want to name him?
Well, right now we call him Squeaky.
Dakine Loft is in love. Dakine, did you want to trade your free perch for a kitty? We could send you a kitty.
There he goes.
There he goes. Look at him go.
Look at him go. Look at him go. Oh, my goodness. That's Big Nance there.
Don't cry over spilt milk.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
he'll get used. Room temperature is fine enough. He's got to be tough.
Oh, Michael
Yeah.
Peebler has a good name. Whiskey Liquor.
Whiskey.
Oh, Mike Peebler's on fire.
Look at him go.
Oh, Dakine Loft's already named him. Naming him Sylvester. I think he'd look great at your place, Dakine Loft.
Ricky, you know
Look at
you
how
should show
cute.
them, eh? You should
What?
show them the magic box.
Oh,
You
you want to see the magic?
guys want to see the
Oh,
magic
yeah.
box?
Let's see the magic box for Michael Peebler.
Okay, 1 second here. I just got to finish
Dakine
this
says,
up.
"Hell no."
Come on.
I don't want to stop this guy from.
Oh, he's loving that. Look at him go, boy.
Oh, I don't know if
Come
you
on,
can see
Ryan.
it.
Feed him.
I'm
Mama.
not feeding him.
Mama.
But
Mama.
Look.
look,
Super
oh,
cute.
he's loving this now.
Well,
All right, give him a break now, and then
after this.
do it after this. We'll show them the magic box, guys. We're gonna end it on a real high note. But you got to be patient here for the magic box.
It's going to take me a minute.
Ryan,
Oh,
say something. I'm going to grab a drink, so talk.
want me to say something, guys?
This guy wants to eat more.
All right, go grab the magic box now, Ricky.
1 second here.
He's not done. He can't quit.
Whoa.
But I will be in Thailand with Emil Denny's, and I'll be going to Thailand and what's the other place we're going to? Taiwan. He's doing a 25 bird auction in Taiwan. He invited me to come to that, so I'm going to try and get both of those done. That'll be interesting. Your must, Ricky. I'll tell you. Talking to Emil Denny's, I had a private dinner with him. I learned so much interesting stuff about the World War II and about the pigeons. It was absolutely incredible. A great time I had with Emil. I had a great time with everyone. Xavier Verstrada, Eric Lindbergh, going to the Golden Doif. It was so much fun. The people that you meet and you talk to. Willie Daniels, excellent. So many new people for next season. It's going to be really good season 5. We're going to switch it up a bit. We're going to have more live events all throughout Canada, United States, the UK, and we're even going to try and make it into Mexico. I'm hoping sometime here through the summer I may have a few days where I will sneak to Mexico to do some research. You'll have to follow along, but I had an absolute awesome time in Europe. The breeders were fantastic. The food was great. The hotels wasn't my most favorite part, but hey, in the small cars, I really miss pickup trucks. I'm a bigger kind of guy, and pickup trucks were for me. But as we wait, Rob Wong, I did hear you say, did I hear you say Willie Daniels? Yes, Willie Daniels. I was about that close from buying. Gave you a thumbs up. Thank you, my friend. That close from buying the Willie Daniels cock. He was one of my favorites. I got the Yellow Rosier's cock. Willie Daniels was a super.
Did you tell anybody about that little purchase that you made
No,
at the Golden Doif Awards? We're gonna wait. Okay. Ryan treated himself to a little shopping at the Golden Doif Awards at the auction, and go ahead.
Well, I wanted to. That bird wasn't purchased for me. It was purchased for the viewers.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be doing something with it. Something. But right now, it's in safe hands. We got the magic box, Ricky?
You sure?
He's going to put his earmuffs on. Tell me,
guys,
I like the story how you made the box.
Do you know, Phil was saying we're getting a little off topic. If cats and cute fuzzy things aren't for you, then have a good evening, and we will see you on next week's Monday show. Premier League, don't worry if you gave us a thumbs down. People don't realize, even if you give a thumbs down, it's all counts as the same thing. So you can give us mad faces and middle finger faces and whatever you want. It's all whatever it is, they just want you to react, so it's fine. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We're used to it all. Okay, what do you got there, Ricky? And then we're going to wrap this up.
I got this crate that actually was very expensive.
Here, let me hold the crate. So
it cost me $54 and change. Had 30 cans in it. That I actually had to have a couple and give to a few friends. But then they turned it into.
Well,
hold it up. You're going to have to like move it up closer to the camera. Well, don't, so not so they fall out. Oh my goodness. It's a 2 for our kitties.
Yeah.
30 cans.
Oh, 30 okay, cans, well then it's a 30 a kitties.
30 can.
Oh my God.
And guys, yes, pigeons are great, aren't they? Sometimes you got to get outside the box a little bit. And there's your first one. He's a cute one.
That's going to be a nice fuzzy little guy.
Fuzzy little guy, yeah.
Phil says that he missed the Willie Daniels research. Willie Daniels is coming up in season 5, where we will be at Willie Daniels and do a loft tour and do all the good stuff. We met him at the end of the tour and negotiated at the end of the tour, so he will be with us for season 5. Ah, Carlos, we got another taker. He says they are gorgeous. They sure are. Sherry wants one. Sherry, I'm going to put an order in. Where's the photo? Where's the photo? Sherry's photo of her flying bitch. I got to show everybody the what do you call it? The crocheted quilt. It's awesome. Hold on, where is it? Here we go. Sherry, sorry, I hate to have to do this to you, love, but it was just too good not to. Look at that quilt behind her. Look at the quilt behind her with all the kitties.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome. Go. Did you knit that, Sherry? Because I'm putting an order in for Loft Manager Richard. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Look how cute they are.
Yeah, that's the magic box.
I got one more.
There's 5?
5. Rob Wong, when is season 5? Season 5 will begin in October. Oh boy, we got snoring going on here. Oh boy.
Yeah, we got 5. The magic of 5 in the box. But boy, they're doing real good, this little group. Yeah. So there you go. In the magic box they go.
Sherry's mom crocheted that blanket. I'm going to get in a better photo of it because it's awesome. Hang on a second. This is a better photo of it. Let's put this photo. There we go. Let's look at the crochet blanket again, guys, because I just think it's awesome. Look at that. How cute is that?
Yeah, good job. And hey, I like how you're holding the bird. Don't spread the legs.
Yeah, she's holding it like a true flying bitch. Way to go, Sherry. Having a little bit of fun here. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight, seeing as it's probably past everybody's bedtime. We want to thank you guys so much for all of your comments and conversation, whether we agree or we don't agree. We don't take anything personally here, and we're all friends at the end of the day, and this is a great place to talk about pigeon racing. What do you want to say before we wrap this up, Ryan?
Yes, exactly what you said. The only thing we all have in common, we actually all hate each other, more than likely. We all love racing pigeons or pigeon keeping or pigeons in general, and that's what makes us all brothers and sisters. So, hey, agree to disagree. As long as we're enjoying pigeons, a little bit of rubbing is good. Thumbs up, thumbs down. The hell with you. You don't know what you're talking about. Or shit, I learned a whole hell of a lot. That's all that matters. Leah, while Ricky's gone, let's end it because we can end it much easier.
I know. We can. That's why I was like, now's my cue. Let's end it now before he comes back. So thank you guys so much. Follow us tomorrow. Ryan will be live from the Pioneer Village along with Loft Manager Richard, showing the progress on Loft Manager Richard's loft. Follow us all week long. And actually, for the rest of the season, we'll be live every day on Facebook. And we're going to hopefully be live on YouTube daily once I can get Ryan figured out how to do that. Good night to everybody. Have a great week. Keep submitting your photos. I'm Leah. That's Ryan. Loft Manager Richard is taking care of the kitties.
Hey, and all the best to Art Van Zoren. Good luck, Art. You'll make it, and I'll be there again. Remember, I'm willing to be your partner if you want.
And congratulations to the Kind Loft and Cam Van Troba, winners of 2 free purchases at the Pioneer One Loft Race. Get your photos up, guys. Next week, another draw. Some Pioneer swag and another free perch. I'm going to close it off now, Ryan. Good night, everyone.
All right. Thanks for flying with us, guys. Bye for now.